Hi friends, I'm Kitty and welcome to my Dolls and Collectibles channel. I'm an adult collector that creates content that aims to encourage positivity in our hobby. You are never too old for dolls and never too old for a hobby you love, so stick around and have some dolly fun. Hi doll friends and welcome to my Dolls and Collectibles channel. Today I'm excited to share with you for the very first time my entire Reborn Doll collection. And I've got little William Tate with me here at the moment. I'm going to get him changed, and while I'm getting him changed into the sweetest little outfit, I'm going to go through all the dolls in my collection. So let me just quickly go through the gorgeous little outfit that I'm going to dress him into. It's winter at the moment in the southern hemisphere and it's gotten quite cold, so I'm going to put this really cute outfit on him. That is so cute. Look at those beautiful colours, cream, brown, and this sage colour with the little faux buttons that go down the front. Cute little pair of socks. A beautiful pair of baby pod shoes. Aren't they so adorable? So cute. They'll go quite nice. And this really sweet mustard coloured pom-pom hat. So that's what I'm going to dress him into. And I'm also going to go through my entire collection. Now, I started collecting Reborn dolls around 5 years ago. And my collection has expanded significantly to 22 Reborn dolls. And you're going to see through my collection how my tastes and preferences have changed over time. So let's get started with my closed-eyed or sleeping Reborn dolls. When I first joined the Reborn doll collecting hobby, to be honest, I was actually pretty terrified of sleeping Reborn dolls. I thought they looked like dead babies, and I swore to myself I would never buy one. I was only ever going to have open-eyed Reborn dolls. But always with doll collecting, never say never in this hobby. Because it wasn't very long after that I actually changed my mind, and this was all I was buying for a long period of time. So this is one of the newer sleeping Reborn dolls in my collection. This is little sweet Beatrice Dior. I got her for Christmas last year. She is the sold out limited edition August sculpt by Dawn McLeod. She was reborn by Martindale Nursery. Isn't she beautiful? And she has the most amazing painted hair. Let me just move her head around. And this is what I was specifically looking for, was this kit with painted hair, because I actually missed out on buying the kit, and so I had to find one that was ready-made. And so one of the requirements was the painted hair. And what I actually love about this specific kit is this beautifully sculpted pouty lips. And I think her hands have been so well sculpted. They're so beautiful. You've got an open hand here, and then one there's a couple of fingers that are closed over. And I just think the sculpting on the hands is wonderful. So Let me tell you an interesting story about this doll. This doll really tested my patience. As I said, I missed out on purchasing the kit because it sold out very quickly. So I had to wait a few years to get my hands on this doll. And I wanted this kit specifically done with the dark painted hair. And I think that Martindale Nursery has done such a beautiful job reborning her. I love her eyebrows. I love all her mottling and blushing. I would definitely recommend this particular artist, Martindale Nursery. Her work is outstanding. She's done an absolutely beautiful job reborning this kit. Oh, she's so scrumptious. Isn't she beautiful? Let me bring her up to the camera. Isn't that face just so precious? Oh my goodness, look at this scrumptiousness. Oh, I absolutely love this reborn doll. This is reborn doll number 2. This is Angelica Sonnet. She's the sold out limited edition Delilah kit by Nikki Johnston, and she was reborn by Reborn Baby Central. And I'm going to talk about some of her unique features. Obviously, her ginger hair. Oh, where do I start with this gorgeous ginger hair? It's so beautiful. And I mean, obviously, she's been beautifully and delicately sculpted. Such a precious little preemie reborn doll. I love dolls with red hair. People know that on this channel. And I'd been on the hunt for many, many years looking for a redhead reborn doll. This doll has the most interesting coloured hair because it starts off quite ginger at the front. And as it transitions to the back, it's more of a strawberry blonde. And then finally at the back, it's quite blonde. So I'm just going to turn her around so that you can see that. Can you see how it goes quite red and it transitions to this fair colour at the back? I love how they've done that. So they've used about 3 different colours of hair. It's beautiful and soft. I think it might be a mohair. It's beautiful and soft. There's lots of flexibility with this hair. I can wet it and scrunch it and make it really curly. I can brush it straight. It's fabulous, the hair. I can highly recommend the Reborn Artist Witches, Reborn Baby Central. Her work is just phenomenal. It's outstanding. Like the mottling, the blushing, the veining is so realistic. It's just stunning work. So that is my precious Angelica Sonnet. Let me bring her up to the camera. I mean, look at that face. So angelic. Here is reborn doll number 3. This is Liliana Lee. She is the Rosa Lee kit by Olga Au, and she was reborn by Leoa's Reborn Creations. I thought I'd do a little close-up. It's nice to go through some of their features before I have a chat. Sweet, another sweet little sleeping reborn doll with painted hair. So scrumptious. Look at this amazing sculpting. I mean, what's not to love about this kit? Just everything about her. The little froggy legs, the little scrunched up hands. I love scrunched up hands on dolls. That cute little pouty mouth. I mean, what's not to love about her? And as I've said with previous dolls, again, the Reborn artist has done such an incredible job reborning this kit. The mottling is superb, the veining just gorgeous. And this is a really happy story about how this little dolly arrived in my collection. I received this doll from my bestie for a milestone birthday that I had a couple of years ago, and that was a really fun year. There was a revolving door of dollies that came through my nursery that year. And everything about this doll and the box opening was just simply joyful. Now, the Reborn artist obviously did such an amazing job on reborning this gorgeous little baby doll, and the box opening was beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Lots of thought went into the box opening. So I would definitely recommend Leoa's Reborn Creations. So what makes this doll so special in my collection? Well, what I can say is I am an absolute sucker for reborn dolls with pouty lips, just like this one. And you're definitely going to see the lip obsession run through my entire collection. I mean, you've already seen it with the August kit, but you're going to see the obsession running through my Reborn collection as I go through the whole 22 with you today. So anyway, that is my beautiful Liliana Lee. Isn't she just divine? Doll number 4. Gosh, I love this doll, and I love this handmade outfit that I had made for her. It is so incredibly beautiful. Look at that bonnet. Let's just take a moment to admire this stunning outfit that I had made for her. Isn't it beautiful? Gosh, some people are so clever, and even look at the shoes. Like, I kid you not. How stunning. So beautiful. So this is Arabella Rose. Love this doll. She's the sold out limited edition Lulu kit by Joanna Kazmierzak, and she was reborned by Look Alive Reborn Nursery. Let's just take a moment to highlight her artistry and unique features. Look at that angelic face. Beautiful. Just such a peaceful, sleeping baby doll. That nose is everything. And she has beautifully sculpted hands. Beautiful. Sort of half open, half closed. Love that. And she has just enough chunk factor. She wears 4 zeros, newborn, but she has just enough chunk factor to be sort of a squidgy baby, a squidgy chunky baby. And you can't really see it here, but she has the most beautiful hand-rooted hair. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's been done, I think, in 2 different tones, at least 2 different colours, because you can see that it's not just one flat colour. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is doll number 5. This is Charlotte Octavia Peaches. She is the sold out limited edition Peaches kit by Cassie Brace. And she was reborned by My Reborn Nursery. I'm just showing her lovely white gown, and it looks so lovely on her. It fits her beautifully. Isn't the chunk factor on this doll just amazing? And let me just get in really close. There's her milk spots. She is so beautiful. She is painted with a little bit more colour than what I'm used to, because as we know, I love the peaches and cream complexion. So she has a little bit more colour than what I could see in her original pictures when I purchased her, but nonetheless, she's still been beautifully reborn. She's a beautiful doll. I love the chunk factor on this doll. It is so incredibly beautiful. I know a lot of people have gravitated towards the pickle doll for the chunk factor, but for me, it's all about Peaches. I just think she is stunning. And one interesting, I guess, fact about this doll is she's the only reborn doll in my collection with a triple banger name. If you haven't already noticed, I always give my reborn dolls two names and then sometimes they'll have a shortened nickname, but she has a triple banger name. So Charlotte Octavia Peaches. So at this point of my collecting, I was moving away from the tiny babies and gravitating more towards bigger, chunkier dolls. And that's because they are much easier to find clothes for. This is a 000. And honestly, everything about this doll just screams chunky. And I love it. So you've got the chunky little choppers here, you know, the chunky cheeks. And you've got the chunky arms. And she has incredibly chunky legs. Just everything about her has the chunk factor. Which I absolutely love it. I just love it so much. And again, you can see the theme running through my collection. She's got beautiful lips. You know, they're slightly pouty. Now, I wouldn't normally go for I think they call this milia, you know, the milk spots. I wouldn't normally go for that. But it's something interesting. I wanted to push the boundaries with my Reborn collection, and that's why I decided to go for that look. So let me bring her up to the camera. This is beautiful, Charlotte. Look at that face. So peaceful. Such a beautiful, peaceful face. This is the beautiful Lucinda Clare. She's doll number 6. She's little Lucy. She is the Reborn Lavender Asleep kit by Cindy Johnson of Talia's Reborn Nursery. She is a very highly detailed kit and she's been painted in lots of gorgeous newborn pink tones. Such a precious doll in my collection. Now, these Reborn kits are made with 3D technology and they're made by scanning a real baby, which obviously makes the kit look super realistic given that it's based on scans of a real baby. So this little cutie pie has the cutest scrunched up face. Look how serious she is, with that little scrunched up face, and her hands are scrunched up too. I just love all this scrunchiness. It really adds to the doll's realism because obviously that's what babies do when they're first born. They're so scrunchy and scrumptious. So you really can't dispute the realism of this kit given that it's based on a true life baby. And as I said, she's been painted in all these gorgeous pinks, which just adds to the realism, this newborn pink colour. And she has the most gorgeous, lightly painted hair. Absolutely fabulous. Such a precious little girl in my collection. So that is my beautiful Lucinda Clare and all her scrunchiness, all her newborn baby scrunchiness. This is Reborn doll number 7. This is Benjamin James, BJ. He is the Levi kit by Bonnie Brown. He was reborn by Tickle Pink Nursery. He has very delicate sculpting of the hands and feet. And he has the most amazing pouty lip. And I think that's where this obsession started, with the pouty lip. So this doll I got very early in my days of collecting Reborn dolls, and he was actually my first closed eye sleeping Reborn doll in my collection. And at this point I was still experimenting with what I liked, and as I explained previously, I was not a fan of sleeping Reborn dolls when I first joined the hobby. So it was a bit stressful when I first ordered this doll because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel when I first opened it. And on reflection, I think it was this kit that changed it for me and took me on this journey of collecting sleeping reborn dolls, closed-eyed reborn dolls, for many, many years. I really enjoyed him. You know, I loved how small he is, his little froggy legs, and, you know, all the delicate features. He's got one closed hand and one opened, and just this very peaceful sleeping face that I really enjoyed. And I thought, yes, I think I can go down the path of collecting sleeping reborn dolls and enjoying it. So one special thing about this doll was, up until last year, this was the only boy reborn doll in my collection. I prefer to collect girls rather than boys, but if a boy is very special, then I will collect it. So I ended up buying last year an open-eyed reborn doll. That was the Vincente sculpt by Priscilla Lopes. So I now have two in my collection, but this is my only sleeping baby reborn boy in my collection. There he is, beautiful Benjamin James, or BJ. Isn't he scrumptious? So I've popped the final two sleeping reborn dolls together because they were made by the same reborn artist. So Cherry Blossom Dolls reborned both of these scrumptious little girls. This one here is the Premi Rosie by Laura Lee Eagles. So that's the kit by Laura Lee Eagles. It was a sold out limited edition kit. And this one here is the Salia kit by Olga Au. And this little girl has lovely painted hair, beautifully painted hair. And she's so adorable. Let me bring her up to the camera. I'll just pull her little dummy off. Look how stinking adorable she is. She's got these two open hands. She's so scrumptious. She's about 14 inches tall, I think. 14 or 15 inches. She's super tiny. Super, super tiny. So cute. So beautifully reborn. And then this little one's only 11 inches. She is tiny. And again, for such a tiny doll, so beautifully reborn. And she has rooted hair. I'll just pull this off so you can, well, she's got a bit of hat hair there, but you can see there's her hair that's been rooted. So adorable. Could you imagine rooting hair on a baby doll this tiny? Oh my goodness, so cute. So at this point in the collection, we were wanting to experiment with smaller reborn dolls. This one is actually Tottie's doll. This is Genevieve, and this is Penelope Rain. And the reason why I wanted to get this reborn for Tottie was because she was complaining that the reborn dolls were too heavy for her. So I thought I'd go for something smaller, and she absolutely loved little Genevieve. But these are really sweet little dolls, and just something very interesting in our collection when we decided to experiment with these tiny, I think they call this one like a micro preemie, and this is a preemie size doll. They are just so adorable. Moving on now to the open-eyed reborn dolls in my collection. This was the very first open-eyed reborn doll. This is what started it all for me. Saskia. Saskia by Bonnie Brown. She was so famous years ago, and this is what first attracted me to collecting reborn dolls was little Saskia, sculpted by Bonnie Brown, and she was reborn by Tickle Pink Nursery. So what attracted me the most to this particular sculpt, look at this sweet little lip with the tongue. I thought that was so cute. And then this little pointy finger. Oh, you're so sassy. Aren't she pointing your finger? I thought that was so gorgeous. And then she's got this closed fist. And moving down here, she has one straight leg and then one bent, which is so unusual. I don't have any other dolls like that, reborn dolls like that in my collection. So she was a really interesting sculpt, and I love the way that she's been reborn. She's got the beautiful dark hair, the blue eyes. She's a sweet little doll. So I've named this little reborn doll Matilda May, and she's affectionately known on this channel as Tilly. All right, let's keep moving along with my open-eyed reborn doll collection. This is beautiful Briella Lucette. She is the Saskia kit by Adri Stuter, and what makes her so very special is that she is the prototype. This kit was originally released in 2000, I think, 10, and she was sold out. I think she was a limited edition of around 500. And then in 2022, Puppen Traumland, they are a Reborn supply company, and they also produce their own vinyl. They re-released this kit in 2022, and Reborn artist, master artist Shaylin Maxwell was commissioned to do this prototype, and her Reborn nursery is called Reborn Sweet Art Dolls. The vinyl on this doll is German, and it is exquisite. So it's made with Puppen Traumland's exclusive Little Dreams Collection German vinyl. It is the softest, most scrumptious vinyl, and look at her, she's absolutely stunning. Now, this kit was used, as I said, she was a prototype, so she was used for all the photographic and marketing purposes on the Reborn vending website. So when you look up this actual kit, this is the doll that you're actually going to see photos of this doll. And Puppen Traumland actually re-released 3 of Adri Stuter's kits, Saskia being one of them. But as I said, the vinyl is just divine. It's squishy, it's soft, I've spoken about this before on my channel. Just beautiful. This vinyl is exquisite. And you can see she's been beautifully, just beautifully reborned. Look at her little legs. She's so cute. She is definitely a favourite in my collection. I was so lucky to be able to get a prototype in my collection, and Adri Stuter is one of my favourite sculptors, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have one of her sculpts, particularly the prototype, in my collection. What I particularly love about this kit, Adri Stuter was just really clever at making open-eyed reborn dolls look like real babies, if that makes sense. Because a lot of the time when you see these open-eyed, what I would call really young babies, they don't look realistic, but I think she just has a knack of making them look realistic. And I've just taken off her bonnet so I can show you. This is classic Shaylin Maxwell. She does beautifully painted hair, and then she roots a little bit of hair on top. It is so stinking adorable. I love this combi look, and I think it, again, makes the doll look so incredibly realistic. This is my gorgeous Tiffany Grace. She is the sold out limited edition Chloe kit by Natalie Blick, and it was this doll that started my love affair with Natalie Blick kits, and I've got quite a few in my collection, which you're going to see later on in this video. She's been beautifully reborn with these gorgeous German Lauscher glass eyes, and she's got the most beautiful soft mohair. It's gorgeous, absolutely stunning, and she has been so beautifully sculpted. I love how this hand is sort of mostly closed with the little pinky, and this hand is opened, but you know, there's one finger that's bent. There's a lot of detail to the actual kit. She's got the sweetest little nose, and look at that little mouth, isn't it, darling? So sweet. I think this kit has the sweetest little face. Moving down, her legs are really cute as well. They're kind of a little bit froggy. I like that. Such a sweet little dolly. And she was reborn by Kiwi Serenity Reborns. The artist is Judy West. Isn't she just divine? Oh, she's so gorgeous. This is my beautiful Annalise Chantel, and she is the oldest reborn doll in my collection. She was made in 2009, and you can see by her absolutely stunning outfit that this was back in the days where the reborn artist didn't just reborn the doll, they made all the clothes as well. And isn't this outfit so spectacular? For anyone who's been collecting reborn dolls for a long time, you will immediately recognise this kit. This kit was so popular, and it drew a lot of people into the reborn community. This is the original Workhouse Luca kit by Ellie Noops. So it's made from the original Workhouse vinyl, German vinyl. How the artist managed to root this hair, I don't know. She has the most gorgeous, you can just see it under there, blonde rooted hair. This vinyl is so hard. I don't know how the reborn artist managed to do it, but she did an absolutely superb job. This beautiful doll was reborn by Heather's Little Darlings, and you will immediately notice these limbs are not the Luca original limbs, but you'll recognise these from another kit that I have recently showed you in this video. Can you guess which one it is? Well, if you guessed that it was the Saskia kit by Adri Stuter, then you guessed correctly. So back then, these limbs for this particular kit were also manufactured in Germany. So the entire kit was manufactured in Germany at the time, and both were limited edition kits, and both of them were re-released at a later date. The Saskia has been re-released in Germany, as you saw earlier in the video. And of course, the gorgeous Ellie Noops Luca was re-released as an open edition and manufactured in China. So Annalise is a really special doll in my collection. Reborning has changed a lot over the last 2 decades, but I think she is a beautiful example of reborning that was happening back in 2009. And I love the way that the artist decided to use the Saskia limbs, because if you are not aware, the Luca kit only had quarter limbs. And at that point in time, people were wanting 3/4 vinyl limbs on their dolls. And so it was quite a common practice back then that if there was a kit that didn't have the 3/4 limbs, to swap them over with another one. This is my gorgeous Princess Adelaide. She is the sold out limited edition Princess Adelaide kit by Andrea Arcello, and she was reborn by Kiwi Serenity Reborn's Judy West. This is one of my standing reborn dolls in my collection. I think I've only got 3 in total, but what I love the most about this kit, look at those pouty lips. Oh, she's not happy. I call her Princess Pouty Lips because she is not happy, but she has been beautifully sculpted and reborn. I think she looks really adorable with this really blonde curly hair. She's got a crown. She's a princess. She has to have a crown, but she's been beautifully sculpted. Look at the details on the hands. One sort of semi-closed hand, one opened. Look at those little chunky legs. They're so adorable. And she is actually on tippy toes, which you can't see because she's got shoes on at the moment. But just such a sweet and adorable doll. And this kit was also manufactured in Germany. This is my beautiful Elizabeth Alexandra. She is the sold out limited edition Love Buggy kit by Laura Tuzio Ross. She was reborn by Little Lighthouse Reborn Nursery. I love everything about this reborn doll. Beautifully sculpted, beautifully painted. I think Denise Moncada, who is Little Lighthouse Reborn Nursery, I think she actually reborned this doll better than the actual prototype. It is such gorgeous reborning work. She is the only doll in my collection that has her ears pierced, and that's because Denise did it for me. But she is absolutely stunning. And as you can see, here's the lip obsession running through my collection. Obviously, one of the favourite things about this kit is her mouth with that beautiful happy smile. But you can see all the detail with her tongue and her teeth. Just such a happy, cheery, reborn doll. This is Valentina Jewel. She's the sold out limited edition Tutti Sculpt by Natalie Blick. And she was reborn by Russian artist Julia F. Tushveska. At this point in my collecting, I was really interested in collecting dolls from Russian and Eastern Bloc artists. I just think they have an amazing way of painting, and Julia F. Tushveska has done an amazing job reborning this doll. She has beautiful mono-rooted hair, so it's one strand at a time. It is in the softest mohair. She has rooted the eyelashes top and bottom. The doll has this incredible gaze. It's not for everyone. I love it. I noticed that a lot of Russian and Eastern Bloc artists do create their dolls like this, where there is sort of this very serious stare. And because I've got Polish background, to me, I don't find that off-putting. I actually really like it. But I love the peaches and cream way that she's painted this doll. You know, there's subtle blushing and veining, but she is such a pretty, pretty doll. With Natalie Blick kits, it's all about the eyes, which you can see here. But she has the sweetest little nose, and that's a beautiful mouth. And the way that Julia has painted that mouth is so stunning. I really love the way that she's painted her eyebrows. Just overall, She's the type of doll that you don't see much on my channel because she's what I call one of my good dolls. So she's more of a display doll, but she's very, very precious and I love her. Yes, you are seeing double. I have two of the same kit, but they've been made slightly different. So let's move across to this doll first. So this is Holly Jane, and she is a hybrid reborn doll. So her head, so just the head only, is the Betty sculpt by Natalie Blick. So that's a sold out limited edition kit. Her limbs are the Ariana sculpt by Reva Schick. So this is how she's sitting, because normally the kit is standing, but the artist, who is Brianna Francis from Boona Babies, she made quite a few of these Betty kits with the Ariana sitting limbs, and it's great to have both. I really love the Betty kit. It's one of my absolute favourites, and I wanted a sitting and a standing, and I think she's been beautifully reborn, very, very different to the other. So Brianna Francis, she is an American artist, and as I said, she has the nursery called Boona Babies, and I love what she's done with this doll. Beautiful blonde straight hair. Look at those sweet little cherry lips. She has just got the sweetest face. She looks so adorable and scrumptious, and she's beautifully painted her nails and the toes. She's just done a wonderful job, and I love her rendition of this kit. Absolutely stunning. And I had forgotten, that's right, she has her little ears pierced. So I actually have two dolls in my collection with their ears pierced. Now, moving across to this other Betty kit. And this one, she is the Betty kit in its entirety. So you can see that the original Betty came with straight legs, and she had one bent arm and one straight arm. And look how much different she looks. And this artist, I think she might be Ukrainian. So master artist Yaroslava Vyshkovskaya painted and reborn this gorgeous doll. And she has the most amazing premium, it's called premium class natural mohair. It's been mono-rooted, one strand at a time. The eyelashes have been rooted top and bottom. Absolutely gorgeous. The eyes are made, the actual eyes are the handmade glass from the German city of Lauschka. And she's got this stunning peaches and cream complexion. As I said, I was going through a phase in my collecting where I was really interested in collecting work from Eastern Bloc and Russian artists. They have an amazing way of approaching reborning. And yeah, I was just interested in acquiring their type of work in my collection. So it is incredibly interesting to see how two dolls, the same kit, can be painted, you know, differently, approached differently, depending on what idea and concept the reborn artist has. I love both. And I love having a sitting version and a standing version in my collection. They are a fabulous addition. Both are a fabulous addition to my collection. This is my beautiful Freya Noel. She is the Tibby standing sculpt by Donna Rubert. She was my first standing reborn doll in my collection. Her artist is Eileen Kachia's Precious Angel Reborn Nursery. And as I said, I went through a phase of wanting to collect dolls that had this gorgeous peaches and cream complexion. I found that extremely difficult to find in Australia back in 2020, but I was just very lucky that Eileen, who had been reborning for about 20 years, she had learnt this beautiful technique. And so a lot of her paintwork reminds me of these Russian artists, you know, this beautiful peaches and cream with the very light veining. She has the most amazing hand-rooted human hair. The only thing that I've done since I've got her is I had my sister-in-law, who's a hairdresser, trim the ends because her ends were very thin compared to the rest of her hair. And so I asked my sister-in-law just to trim it to the shoulders, and now it's beautiful and thick and looks very luscious. But she is a very big, solid, standing doll. And most of these kits, because the head is so large, most of these dolls will have a wig. So the fact that she's got this beautiful hand-rooted human hair is just fantastic. So this is the Maddie Sculpt by Bonnie Brown, and this doll was reborned by Meg's Reborn Nursery, Margaret Marsh. So this was Totty, my daughter's first reborn doll, and I'd forgotten she has her ears pierced as well, so we actually have 3 dolls with pierced ears. Totty hasn't played very much with this little dolly, or shall I say this big dolly, because she weighs a lot. She's a very heavy doll. And we didn't really think about that when we purchased it for her. She really loved the Maddie kit. It was so popular back in 2020. Everyone here in Australia wanted to have one, and as soon as Totty got her for Christmas, we immediately realised that the doll was far too big for her. And so then we ended up purchasing some smaller reborn dolls. We sort of went for the preemie size, or even the little tiny reborn dolls that I was showing you earlier in the video. So she's just sat in this little rocker the whole time, just looking pretty. We're getting close to the end. This is the 21st reborn doll in my collection. We've gone back to William Tate. He is the Vicente kit by Priscilla Lopes, and he was reborn by Melissa O'Neill. And he looks so incredibly scrumptious in his outfit that I got him dressed into. He looks so cozy. I love all these natural colours on him. And he looks so stinking adorable with that big melon head in beanies. I love putting a beanie on him. He's actually been painted with air dry paints, and I really like the finish of air dry paints. He's got gorgeous, chunky, juicy red lips. I told you there's a lip obsession running through my collection. He has the most gorgeous, stunning hazel eyes. I love the way that the artist has painted his hair and his eyebrows. Look at his little nails. Everything about him is just so scrumptious. Now, I don't want to give too much away about this reborn doll because I haven't actually revealed this one on the channel, because I'm going to have some work done to this doll. So stay tuned for in the future when I do the big reveal. But I think some of you may know, may recognise this kit, so you'll actually know who it is. So that's a wrap on my reborn collection for 2025. Let me know down in the comments which reborn doll is your favourite. And remember, you are never too old for dolls and never too old for a hobby you love. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.